NXT from April the 29th, 2025 was an okay show. It could have been better, but it was okay nonetheless. So we kicked the show off with Joe Hendry. And he talked about what happened to him at Rebellion, how he got attacked by Trick Williams. He knows that he embarrassed Trick in Las Vegas. So he knew that retaliation was going to come back to him. He knows that he called Trick Williams entitled. He said it's worse than that because he used to be somebody that people can get behind. He used to be someone that could lead the locker room. You were once Mr. Let's talk about it. But the truth is you can't stand the fact that they weren't talking about Trick Williams. They're talking about Joe Hendry. And then he goes on and says that Trick Williams is arrogant because instead of looking within, he blamed everybody else for the fact you couldn't win back the NXT Championship. And you know that Obafemi just won't give him another title shot. So he thought that he could come over and cross the line, quote unquote, and go to TNA and attack the world champion, TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He then says that he knows that he's an entertainer, but he also has an antagonistic side. So he then calls out Trick Williams. He tells him to get his ass out here. Then Darkstate shows up, and then they beat the shit out of Joe Hendry by hitting the pop-up powerbomb. This was an okay segment. This was fine. It makes sense. I don't know if they're going to do Trick and Joe Hendry at Battleground or if they're going to wait and do it at TNA's next pay-per-view, which is a TNA Plus event in May. I think it's Under Siege. So, I don't know. I would assume they're probably going to end up doing it at, I want to say Battleground. It makes more sense because that's on a Friday. TNA pay-per-view is going to be on a Friday, so I don't know if Trick's going to, if they're going to want to do that then. So they'll probably just do it at Battleground. So, yeah, there's that. This is an okay segment. Really good reaction for Joe Hendry as per usual. Good stuff there. Moving on. So, Ava, she welcomes Io Scott back to NXT. Jordynne Grace tells Io that she'll be her tag team partner and she'll do whatever it takes to get one step closer to the NXT Women's Championship. So that's fine. They're going to be a tag team, the Juggernaut and the Genius of the Sky. Okay, good stuff there. I just wish that Jordynne Grace had something to do. She's just 1 minute she's in the crowd, next minute she's wrestling on the show. She's not really in any storylines. She's been brought in she's been there in NXT for about a little over a month now, and she's not really done much of anything in terms of storyline. She's just getting her feet wet with working with different talent like Jada Parker and stuff like that. But I don't know. Shawn Michaels, can we please get some feuds for Jordynne Grace, please? And I know they're probably thinking in their minds that everybody knows Jordynne Grace and all that, but everybody does not know Jordynne Grace. Everybody didn't watch TNA. Like I always say during my TNA reviews, access does not let you access TV. You know what I'm saying? Access does not give you access to access TV. So, there's that. Moving on. So, Carmen Petrovich, she tries to give G.D. Dolan and Tatum Paxley some encouragement after suffering two losses with the titles last week. So, Ashani Diantanas tells Carmen that she shouldn't be worried about these losers. He got Carmen a match with Sol Ruca. And he says that Carmen better get ready because if she wins, she'll get a title opportunity. That shit is not going to happen. We all know that. So, whatever. Moving on. This leads us into the first match of the night. Ricky Saints, a.k.a. Ricky Starks, defeats Lexis King to retain the North American Championship via the Rose Shampoo, which is fine. But I wish that Ricky Saints, just like Jordan Grace, had an actual feud. Again, they've been there for a month to a month and a half. It's time to get these guys and girls into some feuds, all right? They've got to do something with these guys. Seriously. Come on, Shawn Michaels. Start cooking, bro. All you're doing right now is just fucking boiling water. That's all you're doing at this point. You gotta, put something in the water and stuff. Like, what are you gonna cook, So, moving on. So, Shawn Spears, he says that the Colin has been falling short of expectations as of late. He goes over how Izzy Dame was just fingertips away from capturing the Women's North American Championship at Stand and Deliver. He doesn't want their failures to define them. Let these failures teach them. Let them learn from them. If they fear failure, they're simply putting limitations on their lives. This NXT Women's division is stacked. Shawn Spears needs Izzy Dane to figure out a way to stand out from the pack. Good luck with that. She needs to rip the spotlight from someone and put it on herself. Brooks and Nico will need to dig down deep to find the cohesion they need in order to take down Hank and Tank. Shawn Spears wants the Calling to rise up and seize control of NXT. I don't give a shit about this. The only one that I actually care about in this whole ordeal, this whole lame-ass faction, is Izzy Dame. Get rid of Shawn Spears, get rid of Nico Vance, and get rid of Brooks Jensen. Seriously. Again. This is the only way this shit's going to survive. Alright? Who cares about this, really? Moving on. So Tony D'Angelo comes out next. He says that everybody can relate to being betrayed by somebody. He said that Stax was always one to pop off on somebody that was bigger than him, even when they were kids. It didn't matter if it was in the schoolyard. It didn't matter if it was in the streets. He always had his back. That's what loyalty's all about. Tony D knows that Stax has always had his eyes on the big seat. He always wanted to lead the family. There was multiple times when Tony D was down, Stax stepped in. When he got locked up, he handled business. When he got hurt, he stepped in and handled business. And then he showed the world why he was deserving to be the underboss. So Tony D, he rewarded him. But now, the reason why he's the Don is because he has to make the big decisions. He knew that Stax would wait for the right moment. He says that Stax is going to pay for his sins because his entire family is now in disarray. Nobody's heard from Luca, and Rizzo is in hiding. So Stax then shows up on screen. He's at the bridge, basically. And he basically just said that he knew that there was no way he was going to come out there and deal with the Don because he knew nothing was going to be settled. He knows that his security was already out there and nothing was going to happen. But he's going to tell Tony what he needed to hear. He's sick of taking Tony D's orders. He said that he's going soft. You talk about this pledge, the code you live by. You're making a decision that allows people like Darkstate to think they can push us around. He said that Tony D's not capable of leading the family anymore. He says, let's be honest, T. You weren't going to lead the family anyways. So you left it to me. And now he's going to take the reins for himself. And he's going to put Tony D in his place. He said that he knows Tony D better than anyone else does, and you're shaking. Your underboss and best friend are gone. Luca is gone, and then you send Rizzo in hiding. You're losing more power every day. And he says, "Can you even trust your own family? You don't even know who you can trust right now." So then, the security guards, they jump Tony D. Tony D fights them off, and then he tells Stacks, "If you want the big seat, you want to be the Don, well, you're gonna have to bring your ass down here and take it yourself." So this was a great segment. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This was really good. Hopefully we get more of this. It seems like they should send Tony D up to the main roster after this feud with Stacks is over with. It's over and done for him in NXT. He's done everything he's done. Everything he can possibly do in NXT. He's been in NXT, I think, since 2021 or 2022. I'm going to say 2022. So he's been there basically about 3, going on 4 years. And I'm fine with this. So this should be some type of stipulation, maybe like a steel cage match or a Falls Count Anywhere. And if Tony D loses, he's banished from NXT and he must leave the family. So something like that has to be on the line. And this is a feud that I'm definitely looking forward to for sure. So this is great. Long time coming. I'm down for this. But it seems like NXT is breaking up a bunch of factions, which is weird to me. Moving on. So Zoe Ruka, she defeated Carmen Petrovich via the Snow Snatcher. And then post-match, Asante the Adonis, he yells at Carmen Petrovich, and then Carmen Petrovich then drops Adonis with a roundhouse kick, which was kind of crazy. But doesn't he have friends? Doesn't he have B-Fab? Why didn't she show up and go after Carmen Petrovich? Or why didn't Nikita Lyons show up and go after Carmen Petrovich? We'll never know. We'll never fucking know. But I see what they're doing here. It makes sense. It makes sense, though. Moving on. So Roxanne Perez admits that she wasn't the biggest fan of Julia when she first arrived in NXT, especially when she took away her NXT Women's Championship. But these last couple of weeks have changed her perspective because they're both in lockstep. Julia says that Roxanne Perez is a great champion. The Prodigy and the Beautiful Madness together can be unstoppable. All right. This is fine, I guess. So, yeah. I guess they have an alliance of some sort. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, though. But, this is fine. Moving on. So, Trick Williams, he comes out. Gets a good reaction. He says that, he's been calling his name all night long. Pause. And somehow his ass disappeared. He said he better be glad that Darkstate got there to him before he did. He said he's not gonna lie. Joe got the best of him last week. You had his number. He was a bit out of character. Some people say that Trick Williams crashed out. But let me tell you what will help make Trick Willie feel better. He looked at his schedule. He saw him at TNA Rebellion all the way in LA. So he got a first class ticket to come whoop his ass. Let's talk about it. So he came to Joe Hendry's show and made it his show, the Trick Williams show. He said that while he was in LA, he went to Hollywood with some good old friends of his. Huh? He says that in due time, Trick's going to be hitting the big screen. I'm like, so he's going to do the movies? No, he's not. So he's going to basically be doing a show on the CW. It's called All American, and it's on season 7, the season finale. So he says that him and Joe Hendry aren't even on the same level. Trick is Hollywood. He said that Joe Hendry is a local talent. We're not on the same level. He said that you can look at his lane. The same people as The Rock and John Cena. Joe Hendry, you can't see him, but while you're trying to figure it out, he's moving on to bigger and better things, and that's the NXT Championship. He wants his title back. So then Ava comes out, and she just tells Trick that, she's upset with him. She's tired of him, he's tired of she's tired of him destroying everything, destroying cameras. He said, Trick says that he's bigger than NXT. He's the biggest superstar here, and he's bigger than TNA. So, Ava then basically puts Trick into this 25-man battle royal for the NXT Championship. The winner's going to be the number one contender for it. So, that's fine. Is it that important? No. This is kind of weak. This is weak as shit. But I do think that's where we're going to probably see Joe Hendry show up and cost Trick Williams. And that would make a lot of sense, in my opinion. So, the participants in the match so far, it's going to have a mixture of TNA guys, Evolve guys, and TNA guys, Evolve guys, NXT guys, and I would assume some LFG guys, I guess. So that's pretty cool. So far it's going to be like Trick Williams, Josh Briggs, Inamura, Sean Legacy, Ethan Page, Timothy Thatcher, Swipe Right, The Culling, and Ridge Holland, Javon Evans, and a guy named Chris Island, Shiloh, Hill, Eddie Thorpe, and Tyson and Tyreek, and Wesley. And also a couple guys from the No Quarter Catch crew. What? What kind of shit is this? We know that Trick Williams is not going to win next week, all right? But we'll have to wait and see how this shit plays out. Moving on. Hank and Tank, they retained their tag titles by defeating Josh Briggs and Inamura. Who cares? I don't care about this shit. All right. Moving on. So Miles Bourne, he tells the No Quarter Catch crew that there will be superstars from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, LFG, and TNA that's going to be competing in next week's number one contender battle royal. Tavion Heights mentions that Charlie Dempsey is pissed because Miles decided to team with Javon Evans behind his back. Miles says he's tired of listening to Charlie Dempsey. It's time for No Quarter Catch crew to fend for themselves. This is crazy. What the hell is this shit? Why are they breaking up No Quarter Catch crew? They're actually a pretty solid team, but I see the only one being a star in that would be Tavion Heights. Miles Bourne is sort of kind of a star, too. I like him. I like his in-ring work. Ren Sinclair, she would be better off in TNA. Charlie Dempsey, he didn't really get to do anything except for, working, work over in Japan, Bloodsport, and stuff like that. So he's not really been featured. But I don't know what the hell they're doing with breaking up all these damn tag teams. It's weird to me. It's weird as shit to me. But I don't know. Moving on. So the Darkstate, they brag about destroying Joe Hendry. All right, that's fine. Moving on. Chase U, they're back in business. Mr. Chase was unsure if he could open up these doors again after what Ridge Holland did, but never say never. Because this is a new semester, Mr. Chase goes on an unhinged rant after Kel Dixon and Uriah Connors, a.k.a. Brogan Finley, the little brother of David Finley, who works in New Japan, showed up to class late, and one of the students wanted to snitch on him. So, okay, that's cool, I guess. So, I guess they're keeping them as the only faction. And the next one would be Darkstate. So, yeah. Moving on. So, Kalani Jordan, she's passive-aggressive. Kalani Jordan, she passive-aggressively congratulates Sol Ruca on her victory. When Kalani was the NXT Women's North American Champion, she put the title on the line every week. Sol Ruca says that Kalani Jordan has a problem with how she carries the championship, then she can step up and do something about it. Zarya says that Sol Ruca is not putting her title on the line next week against Kalani. She's just not going to walk around handing out title matches like nothing. If Kalani wants to step up to Sol Ruca, she is going to have to step up and face Zarya first. And then Klein Jordan accepts Zarya's challenge. Okay, this is fine. Clearly, this is leading to Zarya turning heel on Soruka, which should be fine. I do like that. What do you do with Klein Jordan once she loses? Do you put her in a tag team of some sort? I don't fucking know. We will have to wait and see. Then, this leads us into Hank and Tank. They tell Joe Hendry that they'll have us back next week because they believe. So it's going to be Joe Hendry and Hank and Tank taking on Darkstate. All right, that's fine. Main event of the evening. Io Sky and Jordan Grace. They defeat Roxanne Perez and Julia. Very solid, fun TV main event. All four women did great. Jordan Grace did awesome power moves in this match. Roxanne Perez did well too. Julia did well. The finish happened when Jordan Grace and Julia they're on the outside of the ring, rolling around and throwing punches and stuff. Then Roxanne Perez she tried to hit the pop rocks. Io reversed it, hit a beautiful drop kick, and it led into the over the moon moonsault for the 1, 2, 3, and that was it. Post match, Ava informed Stephanie Vacker that next week Jordan Grace will battle Julia. The winner of that will face her for the NXT Women's Championship at Battleground. Okay, that's fine. I do like that. That's interesting to me. Who wins, though? Who wins? Who needs this more? I do not know. I forgot to mention that there was a backstage interview with Oba Femi. So, Oba Femi says that Trick Williams is starting to cry like a grown child. However, if he somehow survives the Battle Royal, he'll face him at Battleground. What Trick doesn't understand is that it doesn't matter if Oba faces him one more time or a million times at Battleground. The NXT title will stay on the shoulders of Oba Femi. The Undertaker shows up, gets a pretty good reaction. Undertaker says that NXT is Oba Femi's yard now because he has some guys from LFG who are coming for him very soon. Anthony Luke, Shiloh Heel, and Jasper Troy. And Oba then shakes Undertaker's hand because he looks forward to the challenge. Okay. That's fine there. They didn't get a reaction, the LFG guys, but, it is what it is. So, that was NXT. It was okay. It was actually okay. It was all right. I enjoyed it. It's crazy that a lot of teams... Oh, I forgot to mention, I apologize again, forgot to mention that the Metaphor, they broke up, basically. So, they all embraced for, a brief, 10 seconds. Then Lash is like, look, Oba should stay in Evolve. Noam should stay Heritage Cup champion. Dakara Jackson should go on her own. And Lash should do her own thing as well. And I'm like, what the hell? What? How dumb is that? Oro Mensah, how is he going to even survive? Evolve? Evolve is basically a damn death sentence, basically. I mean, at this point, you might as well send all of them back to... you might as well send all of them to Evolve. I don't know how Jakara Jackson's going to survive in NXT by herself or on the main roster by herself. I don't even know how the hell Last Legend is going to survive on the main roster by herself. I get it. She's big and she's powerful and stuff like that. But, again, that's a dime and a dozen now. I mean, you got Bianca Belair. You got Rhea Ripley. You got Jade Cargill. It's like Triple H ain't going to push Last Legend like that. Not right now. Unless he wants to be in the mid card and either basically just go after the women's U.S. Championship on SmackDown. Other than that, I don't know what the hell Last Legend could do. I don't know, but it was kind of weird that they keep breaking up factions and stuff. I guess, but it is what it is. But what do you guys think of NXT? Like, comment, subscribe, peace.